Trevor, I bet you enjoyed Monday night.
Oh,
West Ham.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing performance.
Something else.
Full house, brilliant.
You're fifth on the goal-scoring list at West Ham, aren't you? What have you got? 37.
Okay.
I think you're fifth on the list.
It's not bad for a wing-back.
You're something
Are
like...
they all Premier League goals, sir?
Excuse me.
I don't know.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And you're about 12 behind Mikel Antonio. The supporters, I thought, on Monday night were sensational as well. Do you agree with me, Trevor, that those who said West Ham are better off without fans last season because the fans weren't there to be all over the team, those claims were put to bed finally on Monday night when you saw the passion that came over?
I didn't take them serious anyway. When you've played for that fan base, you understand what they're all about. And if you're a player that goes out there, leaves it all out there, fights for the badge, fights for each other, and gives 100% and runs your socks off while you're on the pitch, they'll get behind you. Whether you're getting beat, whether you're winning, whether you're drawing, they will get behind you. So this notion that West Ham did really well last season in the Premier League because the fans weren't at the London Stadium is a load of crap.
Were you not? Well, you were getting into
rubbish.
that. Were you not? Did you not? About
Listen, the problem is with the fans, and this will never change.
Yeah.
David Gold, David Sullivan and Karen Brady, when they took over the club, they failed to communicate with the fans properly. They failed to move to London Stadium in cohesion with the fans. Because remember, the club's been running since 1895, and they changed to West Ham United in 1900s. There's so many family businesses around Upton Park, around the bowling ground, that they didn't take along with them to London Stadium.
And all this talk about the traders got denied.
Absolutely. So straight away, they're on a losing streak. Then they promised Champions League football, which,
how are they going to bring the traders with them then?
It's not about bringing the traders.
By the way,
it's about talking to them and seeing if you can help businesses that have been going for.
Things have moved on, though, Trevor.
It's not their job to help local traders.
Well,
hold on, Trev. Let's be honest about it. They didn't like Terry Brown. Egg McMagnuson was a buffoon that they liked because he just ran around spending money that ultimately didn't have in the end. So, with the greatest respect in the world, you're absolutely right that they could have communicated this move better. Mm-hmm. They've said things that they have not been A, delivered on or able to deliver on, and B, that have made them look silly. They promised top six, and you're absolutely right. The top part of the show where you said, in order for this team to cement and maintain and retain the momentum they've got, they need to improve. But I would have thought that the West Ham fans have a lot of faith in David Moyes. Do you think that's fair to say now?
Well, I was the one that's saying he shouldn't have been sacked in the first place, and that. Okay. If you just let me finish, the biggest thing that they've done right. And it's lucky, really, that David Moyes agreed to go back to West Ham, is where the owners have won the lottery.
But here's where I'm going to go with that. Is David Moyes complaining? Is David Moyes making a hullabaloo and using the media to voice his opinions about what he does and doesn't need? Is David Moyes, whose currency right now and the juice that he's got is really high.
Yeah.
So is David Moyes the one that we trust and the one that we believe? Has he got a problem with Golden Sullivan, or is he a lick-spittle that's a sycophant that's subservient to these guys? Because I don't get the impression that Moyes is like that. I got the impression if Moyes don't like something, he'll have something to say about it.
And he will.
So why are these West Ham fans having more problems than the manager seems to have?
Because the problems that the West Ham fans have got with the owners won't go away.
Sure.
It doesn't matter what they're doing on the pitch. That's obvious because they achieved really well, good results last season. Yep. They've started this season superbly well. They're top of the league. I still see it. The hashtag, they want them out of the football club.
Do you believe that West Ham achieved their success in spite of the owners last year?
Like I said, I think they won the lottery, getting David Moyes in, getting him back. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they offered him a contract to want to come back to the football club. He knew the players that he was coming into. But the biggest thing for me is, like I said at the top of the show, the fans will not forgive the owners for the way they moved from Upton Park and the way that they did.
Do you think that's reasonable then? I mean, I'm not a West Ham fan. I couldn't care less. But do you think that's reasonable behaviour?
I think it's reasonable if they're going to support the team properly on a match day.
What do you mean if they're going to support the team properly, Trevor? If they're going to support the team properly, support the team properly.
Yeah, they will support the team. They're never going to support the owners.
Mark Noble said to me many, many months ago, if we get into a winning run at the London Stadium, they forget about it. They don't care where we're at. You could be playing in a cabbage patch. They'll get behind you.
That was great, Mark. That was great.
Just get behind the team.
Listen, I get behind the team. It doesn't matter who runs the club. It doesn't matter who manages the club. I'll get behind the team.
Let me ask you a question
but the
again,
fans
Trev.
will never forgive
Did they
the owners.
achieve? That's fine, okay. And if they want to have that stance, that's fine. But did the club achieve, in spite of the owners last year, Is that the argument that people are advancing? Is it in spite of Gold and Sullivan? Because listen, I am not going to bat for these guys. I don't particularly like them. Right? But the bottom line is, we've got to be equitable in things. We've got to be a little bit balanced.
Are you asking for my opinion?
Yeah.
My opinion is, obviously, the owners
In spite of the owners?
No, the owners helped.
Right. So where's the
what
problem?
they achieved last year. You're asking for my... I'm telling you what the fans' opinion is, Simon.
Yeah.
And the fans will never forgive them. Simple as that.
Okay. And do you concur with that view?
I can understand why they like that, because I've seen the fallout between fans and an owner before at Blackpool. That didn't end well.
Yeah, but what Owen and Carl was doing was ridiculous. They were asset stripping.
But I've seen that. So I've seen... The best thing is to sit down at a table, try and get the fans on side.
Yep.
And if you can do that and maybe undo some
But
of the
how do you
wrongs...
do that if they're never going to forgive them?
That's their problem.
How about the fans say
That's
for
their
a start,
problem.
you did well getting Suchek
But is
and
it
Kufalin.
constructive? Is it the point I'm trying to make?
Well, as
and
long
a
as it's
difficult
not,
question for you to
as long
answer.
as it's not against the players on match day, I don't think there's a problem.
Yeah.
If the fans don't want to take the owners.
All about the players, then. All about players and management. Nothing about a cohesive football club. Nothing about the fact that
In an ideal world, that would be
Nothing about
great.
the fact that the guy that they trust now, that they didn't want in the first place, by the way,
Yeah.
the West Ham fans, the guy that they've now got in Moyes, hasn't got any problem with the owners, hasn't got a problem with the environment he's working in, but the fans are offended on his behalf.
But I've told you the reasons
Isn't
why.
that
That can't be
indicative of
undone.
society?
That cannot be undone, Simon. If they would have took all the fans
Great.
with them that had businesses around the stadium and they had better communication with the fans and they were a little bit less...
So no one's ever made a mistake in their life.
No,
No one's ever done things
of course
improperly.
not.
And so these guys, who I do think have a lot to answer for in certain instances, are going to forever and a day be stigmatised by a group of people that don't care what they achieve going
I think
forward,
if-
will constantly look
I
for the
think
fault.
if
Terrible,
they
really.
went back into the market
Terrible.
when they had a chance like this in the next 7 days and brought in a striker, a top quality striker,
Yep.
brought in another centre half and maybe another midfielder, some of the fans would say, you know what, let's back these.
Well, let's
let's
see
back
what they do,
these
because
owners.
I mean,
But I don't think that's going to happen.
The deadline's the 31st. Sullivan this morning was too busy to take a call from me because I did check in with him before we came on air. Couldn't do it because he's involved in transfer business.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.